All right, I'm glad you guys were able to survive through forward chaining. Now, you may notice that I am not the same person that narrated the previous forward chaining module. Nope, that was Ryan. Ryan decided to take a trip to Asia with his family. Thanks, Ryan. So, now you all have me as we go through the next portion of the chaining module together. So let's jump right in. We are going to move along to a different chaining method, which we like to call backward chaining. I know what you're probably thinking. How can you teach something backwards? Won't that be confusing? Well, I'm here to tell you that both of those statements are incorrect. Sorry. Let's first talk about what backward chaining entails so that you can understand why it's not exactly teaching backwards and how it's not confusing. So we learned that for forward chaining, you taught each step individually from the first step until the last step. Now for backward chaining, you start teaching the steps from the last step up until the first step. Now the way to do this is you have to set up the items so that it appears that all the steps of the task analysis have been completed up to the target step. For example, if the target step is closing of the microwave door, then the setup should include the food item on the plate inside of the microwave with the door open. This should be the arrangement before you have the learner complete the target step with the appropriate prompt. After completing the target step, you would allow the learner to complete any remaining steps they already know how to do independently. When it comes to prompting, you will follow the same method as we described and practiced in the forward chaining portion of the module. You will follow the prompt hierarchy as specified on the datasheet and always reference the previous trial to make sure that for the target step, the next trial will involve a less intrusive prompt. And that's it. I know it's backwards, but not really backwards. The learner still engages in all of the behaviors in the appropriate sequence. The individual steps are just targeted in a backwards fashion. One appropriate time you would want to use this method is when the learner can already do steps that are in the end of the task analysis as opposed to the ones in the beginning. This will allow the learner to have opportunities to complete steps independently. Another benefit of backward chaining is that the trials are shorter when first teaching the learner. For example, if the target step is currently to push the start button, then the learner only needs to go through 5 steps instead of all 10, so they will access their reinforcers sooner and with less effort. All right then, people, let's see if we can continue this trend of you successfully knocking these check-in questions out of the park. Don't let me down!